What's going on, guys? Billy here, and today we're going to be testing out the Sparks folding propellers on the Mavic Air. Now, I saw a couple of videos online of people doing this, and I figured I'd try it myself and run some of my tests to see if it's a good idea or a bad idea. So first of all, I want to compare the propellers side by side. The Mavic Air's propeller is obviously longer, and I went to the DJI website to get the actual lengths and found that the Sparks propeller is 4.7 inches long, while the Mavic Air's is 5.3 inches long. So we're looking at a difference of about 0.6 inches. Another difference to note is towards the middle of the propellers, where the Mavic Air's is a little bit wider. It also seems to be much more curved, as the Sparks basically looks like a straight line. The final difference between these propellers is obviously the fact that the Sparks can fold. Now, the locking mechanism on the back to hold these propellers into place on the motors is roughly the same. In fact, I thought these little feet on the Mavic Air's propeller were bigger, but it turns out that they match up pretty well in size. Next, I want to test priming the motors. With the Mavic Air, it's very different. When you push the sticks inwards to prime the motors, they come to a slow start, whereas on the Spark, they spin very quickly right off the bat to fully extend the propellers if they are folded in any way. Here's a different angle just so you can understand what I mean with the Mavic Air, as this is different from the rest of the DJI drones. I really do love how the motors start up on the Mavic Air coming to a slow start, because if we look at something like the Mavic Pro and we prime those motors, it violently shakes trying to get those propellers fully extended, and the camera looks like it'll almost break. Now, when we put the folded propellers on the Mavic Air and we go to prime the motors, it does do a little bit of a shake, but honestly, it's really not that bad when we compare it to something like the Mavic Pro. All in all, I would say that the Mavic Air did a pretty good job priming the motors with those new Spark folding propellers put on there, and it didn't raise any red flags saying that this is a terrible idea. Before we get outside to fly this drone with the different propellers on it, I quickly want to compare the Mavic Air folded up, ready to put in your bag, which is a bigger difference than you would think. With these Spark propellers folded up, it's really awkward to hold because the propellers continue to swing around and come unfolded. This is like one of the biggest gripes with folding drones. Like, yeah, they're easy to put in your bag, but those propellers get super annoying. Once we have the actual Mavic Air props back on, it looks a lot better. First of all, it looks like this is how it's supposed to look, but also the propellers don't move around all that much and they are flush to the body, which makes slipping it in your bag a lot easier. Also, just a quick side note, for those wondering, the Mavic Air props will not work on the Spark because they're just too long. The props would collide as they're spinning, and to be honest, I didn't even want to risk trying it. So now we finally have some sun outside. I want to perform two tests flying the Mavic Air with the Spark propellers on. First of all, I'm going to do a noise test between the regular propellers that are made for the Mavic Air and then the Sparks propellers. And then from there, I'm going to do a little performance test, fly it around, and see how it handles with those different props on the Mavic Air. So from what I could tell, the Mavic Air was a little bit quieter when it was hovering here with the Sparks folding propellers on, but something I did notice is that when gusts of wind came through, it kind of pushed it around, which leads me to believe that the performance won't be all that good. So that's the last thing I want to do here. I've got a screen recording for you guys. I'm going to send the Mavic Air up. I've got those Spark propellers put on there, and I just want to kind of walk you guys through what I'm seeing as I'm flying around. So I notice that it's increasing altitude with some pretty good speed, around 4 miles. That's to be expected. And I'm going to push the drone forward now. And I mean, it seems to be flying good. We're getting about 20 miles per hour. Again, I'm not in sport mode. It does seem a lot quieter with those propellers on, though. Now it's getting stuck. It's not flying at all. It says 3 miles. There could be a gust of wind up there, though. All right, there it goes, picking up speed. Now what I want to quickly do is flip it into sport mode. And we got to begin about 20 miles an hour. We didn't get that 40 miles an hour like we're used to. Or I think it says 42 miles an hour. I think that's the top speed. So we'll do one more push here. See if we can get up to 40 miles per hour with the Mavic Air. 36, 41, 42. There we are. Okay, we got it. So it seems that the performance is still there with the Mavic Air. I was kind of skeptical because I did see, again, that wind pushing the drone, so I thought that it really wouldn't handle all that well, but honestly, it did pretty good. So if you guys want to, maybe head out, pick up these folding propellers, try them yourself. I'm pretty sure they're like $9. I'll leave a link down in the description. And if you actually own a Spark 2 and you also own a Mavic Air, you guys can always try and put these props on there and just see what it feels like. But guys, hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, I'll talk to you later. Peace.